Good afternoon, everyone. I hope that you are well. It's Dr. Pagati speaking. Uh, this afternoon, it is 15:36. I would like to talk about the IFP's brand of federalism. Even though I'm not familiar with the constitution of the IFP and how it speaks about its federalism, but the current agreements that the IFP has at a national level with the Government of National Unity and at a provincial level in KwaZulu-Natal with the provincial government of national with the government of provincial unity can tell us the kind of brand of federalism that the IFP has. I've written somewhere that I had found it difficult to find commonalities between the IFP and the Democratic Alliance, but I found that commonality when I looked at the federal nature of these two political parties. You will remember that the DA is a white organization historically, and you'll remember that white people have a consciousness of four provinces. That is the Cape of Good Hope, that is the Orange Free State, that is the Transvaal, and that is Natal. So that is the federalism that white people understand, that South Africa has four provinces. However, the IFP's brand of federalism is different in a sense that it looks at federalism from a Bantu stand perspective to say, in KwaZulu, we already had KwaZulu government. So when we are joining South Africa as a national political community, we are joining it as people who had a government before of KwaZulu and who had a government even before colonialism as KwaZulu. So the federalism of the IFP is like that. Is that a federalism which says that we want to remain AmaZulu, but within a national context, which is the Union of South Africa, which was something that was created after the Anglo-Boer War. So that is what I wanted to discuss in terms of the similarities between the Democratic Alliance and the IFP. Of course, from the similarities, you can see the differences. The IFP was an organization which was created to serve the interests of AmaZulu, but the Democratic Alliance was an organization which was formed after Black people had been given a right to vote. So, meaning that it was an organization which was formed to protect minority interests because white people are a minority in all the provinces of South Africa. So, meaning that they needed to have that federal structure so that white people from different provinces can have a common voice in the national forum of the discussion of policy issues. And of course, we know from experience now that white people are able to dominate us when it comes to policy matters because they were the most educated people. Because you remember that the system of apartheid gave a better education to white people. So even after 1994, when we are given a right to participate, we are not participating meaningfully compared to them because they already were trained as rulers of the society. But the people who were trained before that were trained as subjects, you know, of the system of white supremacy, which was the ruling system from 1948 to 1994, which was the most serious one that we had. But of course, the system of white supremacy in South Africa dates back to the time of uh, the first colonies, such as Jan van Riebeeck, who, with his party, colonized and killed so many of our brothers and sisters from the African continent so that they can make way for their children in Africa. So we are aware of that. Even the IFP is aware of that. Uh, that is why there's a need for me to discuss these different brands of federalism and how they came about. So the federalism of the IFP is the federalism which says we are Zulus. We are joining South Africa as Zulus. But the federalism of the DA says we are Boers and we are English. We fought a war. The Boers lost both wars, but there was a truce which, of course, gave the Boers administrative power because they are the majority. They are the ones who migrated in their numbers to South Africa. But the English themselves are a minority compared to the Boers, and I mean, compared to the Afrikaners. And the Afrikaners, if you remember, also include some of the mixed races who speak Afrikaans as a primary language of communication in their households. Uh, the federalism of the IFP is also a federalism which takes into account the organization of the Zulu state itself, which has Isilo and has Amakosi and has Izinduna. And these people may be located in different places across the province of KwaZulu. So, what the Induna in Impendle traditional authority does must be in line with what another Nduna does in another district, and all what they do must come from Zulu customary law and also the words of Isilo itself, the sitting of Isilo or a former Isilo who said something must be done and which has not been done. So that's the kind of federalism that the IFP recognizes, because you'll remember that the IFP has not grown as an independent political organization, but it has grown with the Zulu royal family, because the prime minister of the Zulu royal family was at the same time the president of the IFP. So the history of the IFP cannot be separated from the history of the Zulu royal family, because of Gaja Mangosuthu Buthelezi, who made sure that he protected the interest of the Zulu royal family under trying circumstances, fighting against people who had no interest in developing South Africa, but who had interest in developing their personal interest and satisfying their thirst for revenge for wars which were fought before 1994, for which there was a Truth and Reconciliation Commission which was trying to solve the problems of human relations between those people who survived those wars. So that is what I wanted to talk about this afternoon, about the different brands of federalism of the Democratic Alliance and the federalism of the IFP. But of course, you remember that there is a bigger organization, the biggest organization in South Africa, even though it didn't win a majority vote in the last national and provincial elections, the African National Congress, which does not believe in federalism at all, which if actually has a policy which wants to do away with provinces, because we have 9 provinces in KwaZulu, in South Africa, KwaZulu Natal, the Eastern Cape, the Western Cape, the Northern Cape, the Northwest, the Limpopo, Gauteng, the Mpumalanga, and the Free State. Uh, so we have those provinces in KwaZulu Natal, in South Africa, uh, and of course that what gives the South African Constitution itself a federal a characteristic, because we have provinces, but the ANC wants to do away with the provinces and wants to create a country that is wall-to-wall municipalities, meaning that it wants to destroy the idea of the province, the idea of a fatherland, the idea of having your own state which you can live with the people who are of your own kind, and having a state which is a mix of different races and different types and different all kinds of differences, and having that one port ruled by a head of state who has to take care of the interest of everyone equally. Of course, the idea itself is very good, but of course now the president himself has to come from a particular geographic location. So if you want to solve the problem of federalism, where you have a president, for example, who comes from a particular province, and when he's in office takes care of the interest of that particular province, but you can still have that even if you have wall-to-wall municipalities, because the the president who comes from a particular municipality or a particular ward would still have some kind of affinity with that ward and would still want more resources to be dedicated or directed to that ward, which he's familiar with, which is his constituency or even his place of birth. So that is the whole debate of federalism in South Africa. But of course, we can expand it and discuss other things. But I have done what I wanted to do to discuss the similarities between the Democratic Alliance federalism and the IFP's federalism and the ANC's nationalistic view of politics, saying that there must be wall-to-wall municipalities so that we do away with provinces, so that we do away with provincial identities and have a national identity. Uh, whether the provincial or the sub-states in nationalities will emerge, or the nationality, the South African nationals will emerge, that is still out there to be seen. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you'll be thinking about these things as we go forward. Of course, those who are interested in American politics might want to consult the Federalist Papers, which I have not read myself, but I have read and I have followed American history and how the federal government and the state government are different, and the different domains under which they operate. Thank you very much.